Folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Good morning. Normally I don't make a video in the morning. It's usually afternoon. Today I might do a couple. Wanted to jump in and talk some more about what's just going on because maybe some of you kind of need to know this. Obviously this hurricane is building up steam, and very possibly by the time you watch this video it's already made landfall. The last that I checked, it's right on the edge of being a Category 5 hurricane. So if you live anywhere near that area of the Gulf Coast, Louisiana, Mississippi, eastern Texas, places like that, you need to either be taking some serious shelter or evacuating. This is one of those few cases that I would advise bugging out. But certainly I would hope that you have plans for that. And then if not, like I said, that you have the ability to hunker down and not just, sit around in your home if you're in the direct path of that and do nothing. Because this looks like this is going to be quite a serious storm. They're talking sustained winds so far of 150 miles an hour, gusts of 170 miles an hour. Now they're saying the storm surge could exceed 15 feet. The CME that I reported on yesterday should have made landfall sometime this morning, and obvious it didn't, just like I said, it didn't knock out the grid. It didn't really destroy anything. It was kind of on the edge of that, of wondering whether it was going to do any damage or not. And apparently it hasn't, because obviously I'm on here talking. But there are other things that a CME, solar flares, can do. And one of them is it can intensify storms such as this. And it's very possible that's why we're seeing this storm rapidly increase. It was just a few days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, that they weren't even sure if it was going to even hit hurricane strength by the time it made landfall. And now they're already talking about, here's something in the news, that this could be the strongest storm to hit this area in centuries. Just yesterday, I was noticing, yesterday morning, they were saying it could be the strongest hurricane in the last few decades, the last decade, last few decades. And then, a little bit later, they were saying, man, it could be the worst storm in a century, then since the 1850s. And now they're saying in centuries, plural. This is going to be quite the powerful storm. And I suspect, and there are others that are saying that this storm is being intensified because of this CME. It's hitting right at the same time. The CME could, I'm not saying it will, could cause an increase in earthquake activity, volcanic activity. We could see that over the next few days. Typically, when we see something like this from the sun, we do see an increase. What will that end up, being for us? Will it be minor? Well, could it be major? Could it be, serious fault lines? There are a lot of possibilities. So again, this isn't over. The sunspot that is putting this out is still there, and it's increasing in size. So the possibility over the next few days that we could see more, or even a larger CME come out of this sunspot is possible. So this week could be some, a pretty rough week. And, it's probably going to be a rough week regardless, because there's so many things happening. I don't want to come across as saying that, oh, this week is the week. This is the apocalypse starting week. This is the doo-doo hitting the fan week. But there are a lot of things going on. And so this is one of those times that as preppers, as those that are prepared, we should kind of have our A game going on, because we could see some things happening. It may fizzle out. By the end of this week, things just may be back to normal, at least what the new normal is. But we've got the evacuation from Afghanistan. They are, as of yesterday, I saw that the troops are already being pulled out. And it does appear, big shock, that everyone was lied to when at first they were saying, no man left behind. We're evacuating everyone. Now the estimates are that there could be anywhere between 4,000 and 9,000 Americans left behind. A lot. Of course, I've suspected all along, I'm sure many of you have, because of the certain words that were used by the administration, that, all the people that want to be taken out, all the people that want to be evacuated. So of course they're just going to say, well, all those other people, they just didn't want to be taken out. And I guess we're just supposed to believe that. It's been a huge debacle, absolutely, off the charts debacle. We have a president that yesterday, or in the last couple of days, meeting with a world leader in the White House, in the Oval Office, falling asleep in front of the cameras, apparently is what it looks like. And the military is in the process of evacuating Afghanistan, leaving all these people behind. There's already reports of explosions, and it just keeps going and going. And then, on top of all that, the Supreme Court overruled the president and the CDC's eviction moratorium. So I would say starting tomorrow morning, courtrooms, courts, filings all across America are going to increase. And this is something I will talk about either later today or maybe tomorrow more in depth. But there's an estimated monthly, and I want you guys to just pause for a moment and just pay attention and listen to this. Since this rent moratorium has started, landlords in this country have been losing an estimated $20 billion with a B, $20 billion in income every month. Every month. And I'm going to say that all over again. Since the beginning of this rent moratorium, which started about 17 months ago, landlords combined in this country have been losing an estimated income of $20 billion a month. That's just astronomical when you think about that. And then, of course, there's just all the other shipping supply chains crumbling and food supply chains crumbling and all this kind of stuff happening. And a lot of it's kind of happening right now, with this hurricane going on. I suspect we're going to see a rapid increase in fuel prices, at least temporarily, possibly some shortages, because they're saying that most of these oil rigs down in the Gulf, they've pretty much had to shut them down because this hurricane is going right through them, almost all of them. I mean, most of them are being affected by this hurricane. So if nothing else, there's going to at least be a pause in production. And we don't know how much damage it's going to do to them. It could be disrupting, pipelines, actually destroying pipelines, or oil platforms out on the coast. There's a lot of possibilities. This is a major storm, so expect shortages and supply chain disruptions when it comes to fuel. So even if you're not in anywhere near the Gulf, I would suggest going out and topping off your tank, making sure all your fuel cans are filled, at least for a few days. This in the short term, it may only be a few days to a week that affects us, but who knows how much longer this could affect. And then all that I have said, you have to add to that how much of this is either A, orchestrated, coordinated, manipulated, or B, they're just going to take advantage of one more big bad situation. I suspect B is most definitely going to happen, because that's what we've seen happen for the last 18 months. No matter what goes on, whether it's just an accident or whatever, they're taking advantage of the moment. This whole health crisis stuff is just worsening. New York State has a bill right now in the State House that would give the governor powers to mandate the thing statewide, and if you don't take it, you can read the language. It's right there on the state's website, that if you refuse to take it, then you can be quarantined. And it says not just individuals, but whole groups of people, that they can quarantine groups of people. So, some type of organization, a church, whatever. It just says, individuals or groups, or groups. And so we're already seeing that happen, or at least the beginnings of that kind of thing happen here in the United States. Something that even 12 months ago, 18 months ago, people were saying, oh, that's just, crazy conspiracy, la la land. And here we are. And it's not been made law yet, but we're talking about a very liberal state. So the odds of it being made law in the coming weeks is probably fairly high. So in other words, folks, a lot of stuff happening. This hurricane is going to be devastating. Remember the people down there in your prayers. I think there's going to be some really tough times ahead for these people. This is looking to be bigger than even Katrina, and it's headed, right in the same direction that Katrina hit. And on the 16th anniversary of Katrina, and we all, remember Katrina well, right? Unless, of course, you're just that young. We remember it, and we know how devastating it was. And here we have this happening. We have this solar storm, CME happening at the same time that could just continually increase. As of the making of this video, it has not made landfall, but they're saying that it could continually increase in power for still, quite a while. So no telling how big and bad it's going to be. This is one of those times, folks, that we prepare for. I'm not saying this is the end. I'm not saying that this is the big one that causes the house of cards and the dominoes and all that to collapse. I am saying, though, that we've got a lot of things happening all at once, and for at least some people, it's going to be pretty severe. And I suspect that there will be a ripple effect that most of America is going to feel this, at least in the short term. So we're at least looking at a short-term SHTF for a lot of people and maybe most people. So folks, just kind of get ready and remember a lot of those people in prayer, and especially remember the people in Afghanistan in prayer. It's rough over there already, and I suspect in the next few days it's going to intensify even more. So there's just a lot going on, and let's just keep on our toes, folks. I will most likely catch you later on today. Thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next video.